நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் மதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் அதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு திரை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம்பியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय.
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय.
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति.
देह शिवावर मोहे शुभ कर्म ते कबू ना करूं. देह शिवावर मोहे शुभ कर्म ते कबू ना करूं. न डरूं सो जब जाए शुभ कर्म
Very good morning to all. Welcome you for the day 4 of the capacity enhancement program. So today we have an eminent speaker from Pune who will talk to us on the artificial intelligence, machine learning, the robotic process automation with rich experience. So we have CMA Ramma Shivkumar ma'am from Pune. So I hand over the proceedings to Srinivasa Madhavan, the Students Association Secretary of the Guru Nanak College. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. A very good afternoon to everyone. I welcome all the students as well as the viewers present in the YouTube live stream. Myself, Srinivasa Madhavan, the General Secretary of the UG Association, here to take you through the event. On this good day, it's my pleasure to invite Dr. J. Mahalakshmi ma'am to welcome the dignitaries present. The vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome everyone on behalf of PG and Research Department of Commerce in association with Information Technology Committee, the Institute of Cost Accountant of India for the Capacity Enhancement Program on recent trends in commerce and business. At the outset, I would like to thank keynote speaker CMA Vishwanath Bhat for accepting the invitation for this program. On behalf of Principal and PG and Research Department of Commerce, I welcome you, sir, to this program. It is a great pleasure indeed for me to welcome our resource person, CMA Ramma Shivkumar. I welcome you, ma'am. I feel honored in welcoming our beloved General Secretary and Correspondent Manjit Singh Nair, who is a great motivator behind all the activities of Guru Nanak College. I welcome you, sir. I am very happy in welcoming our dynamic principal, Dr. T.K. Avaikode, who is always a good supporter for all the program. I welcome you, ma'am. I am very grateful to welcome Dr. R. Tamilchelvi, head in charge of the department, who is always concerned about the benefit of the students. I welcome you, ma'am. I welcome CMA Rakesh Shankar, member of Internal Auditing and Assurance Standard Board. He is a key person for organizing this program. I welcome you, sir. I also have a great pleasure in welcoming our faculty members and dear participants for this program. I once again wholeheartedly welcome each one of you to this capacity enhancement program on recent trends in commerce and business. Another pleasant task assigned to me, introducing the guest. It is a great pleasure for me to introduce our keynote speaker, CMA Vishwanath Bhat, for today's program. CMA Vishwanath Bhat is a commerce graduate and a fellow member of the Institute of Cost Accountant of India with over 20 years of rich experience as a practicing cost accountant. He is specialized in the costing of electrical, mineral, automobile, garments, and para industries. Many aspiring CMAs have successfully qualified under his guidance. CMA Bhat is a proficient in cost accounting, cost audit, budgeting, management information system, VAT, central exercise, service tax, income tax. The list goes on. He serves as the cost auditor for a major public limited company and is also an indirect tax consultant for the numerous private sector or multinational companies. He has delivered lectures on GST, VAT, and cost accounting, record rules at various prestigious fortunes, including the Bangalore chapter of Institute of Company Secretaries of India, Management Institutes, and national seminars organized by the Institute of Cost Accountant of India. Throughout his career, CMA Vishwanath Bhat has held several key positions as a secretary, vice chairman, chairman in the Institute of Bangalore chapter of ICMAI and Southern Region Council of ICMAI. At present, he is a chairman of the Institute of Cost Accountant of India, Southern India Regional Council. Wholeheartedly welcome such an eminent personality to this capacity enhancement program on recent trends in commerce and business. I welcome you, sir. I also take the privilege to introducing the resource person of the day. CMA Ramma Shivkumar is a founder, CEO, and SRKGamechanger. Her professional qualification is CMA. Her career highlights 3 decades of experience with leading Fortune 500 companies in setting up, expanding, and transforming the multifunctional global capability center. I've been listing few of the companies: TCS, IBM, Accenture, American Express. In her journey, she held many responsible positions such as member of governing council at International Institute of Management, Sai Balaji Pune, member with NASCAM, AI, robotics, startups, the board member in HeadPush. Her major achievements: she received UK Industry Award for finalist in Women in Finance for value delivered in merger and acquisition women in IT. She also received CEO Highest Award for merger and acquisition execution consequently for 3 years. We are all very pleased to have such a versatile personality as our resource person for the day. I, on behalf of PG and Research Department of Commerce, welcome CMA Ramma Shivkumar. I welcome you, ma'am. I hope all the participants will enrich from the session on automation, AI, and machine learning in business. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the words, ma'am. Today, we are additionally blessed to have CMA TCA Srinivas Prasad sir, the Vice President of ICMAI, along with us. Sir, can you please share a few words of encouragement?
Good morning and best wishes to all of you on these festive occasions. As like all of you, I'm also eager to get enriched by the resource person's deliberations and the words of encouragement from Chairman SIRC. Thank you. I'll come back again at the end of the program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, we are all set to start the program. Now I invite our resource person of the day, CMA Ramma Shivkumar ma'am, to share her valuable insights and enlighten the audience. Ma'am, please.
Okay, Namaskaram, Ennodu per Rama Shivkumar. So happy to be here today with all of you. And, as I was hearing about, ma'am was talking about the kind of work you guys are all doing in this particular college. Can you all see me and hear me?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Audio and video is clear.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
So,
madam, you are both visible and audible.
Okay, thank you. And when I started my career, and I was in my graduation days with Lady Shriram College, and I wanted to do, CMA. At that point of time, we used to call that ICWA. And can you even think about it? That can a CMA become a CFO? And I did. I did that role for as a CFO for the Tata BSS support services. Can a CMA be working in internationally, and then also in the mergers and acquisition where you're leading it? Why I'm starting this and sharing with you is that because these are the kind of opportunities which are there, and I'm so thankful to the institute, and I would say my fellows, and today the entire community who's kind of come together and doing this program for all of you. Okay, so my story starts that when I went on and did my entrance exam for the CMA, and I decided yes, I could do that. And an interesting story I wanted to share before we deep dive into the topic was, see, everybody dreams that they wanted to be a number one, in the organization, whatever dream you wanted to be. I wanted to be a founder CEO, and today I am. And to become that, I wanted to first, become a kind of a CFO. And I chose Tata Group because, for me, Ratan Tata is my idol. And when I was, I went there for my interview for the CFO position. And the first question, which was an interesting question, which they asked me was that, see, you're a cost accountant. Always look at CAs as a CFO. Okay. What difference do you bring in? And I told them today, for everybody, money is very important. Cash is the king. And we as a cost accountant bring that aspect of how do we manage the cost. Yes, I had to convince them, but it was definitely a good convincing, and then taking that role. And my first board meeting in the Bombay House was also very, very, today, till day today, I remember that, where I, as a CFO, as a cost accountant, we go ahead and check all the numbers are correct or not. And for me, I checked everything and I presented. And then with a smile, I got to hear back from the management was, there's nothing wrong with your numbers or what you're suggesting to make a change. But the point here is, when it comes to citizen services, Tata Group doesn't make profits. And that's a learning you had from Ratan Tata. That's a learning you had from the Tata Group. So it was always a kind of a pleasure to get an opportunity to work with them. And I've done a lot, and I feel I would like to encourage all of you that whatever sessions are being organized for you, leverage them. I don't want to give you any gyan, but yes, leverage the opportunities which are there, because there is no end to learning. And two things which I realized or remember is, okay, you succeed. Even if there's a failure, there is no failure. You learn. And this learning will make you to succeed again. Okay. So once again, namaskaram. And I would share my screen and go through the presentation. 1 second. Just let me know once you can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am. Screen is visible.
Okay, thank you. So this is a kind of a broad agenda. We're going to be talking about the introduction to digitalization, the future trends we see in both RPA, AI, ML, then how RPA and AI ML works and its impact on the business. Because today the entire focus which I'm trying to bring is on the business outcomes. Because that is very important for us as as we're learning about the CMA, as we're learning about the cost accounting, as we're learning about the accounting. It's very important for us. Some real world case studies and success stories. Then we're going to open for questions and some wrap up and key takeaways. In the appendix, I have some reference. How can we learn about RPA, AI, ML? And that I would share back with your college. Okay, so I already spoke about it, and ma'am already gave a very nice introduction about me. So for me, I'm very passionate about giving back to the community by creating advocacy, nurturing youth, and building a higher education facility for people with disability. And this is when I was approached that will you like to kind of go ahead and make that presentation. I was so happy. I said yes, I would. I was supposed to travel to Mumbai today, but then I said, no, this is more important to be with the students because that's my passion. And today, what is that, we feel that a chief accounting officer, a CEO, and a CFO wants? Have you ever thought about it? Today, we are all talking about, AI, we're talking about Gen AI, we're talking about in terms of, that India is today the number one GCC capital of the world. Why is all this happening? Why do you think the chief executive officer and the CFO wants us to be a business partner? There's always a line between, when we're saying using the technology or when we're trying to work with the business. But what is that, CFO is doing? The CFO is the innovator, the disruptor, the economist over there. He's playing that role. And each one of you today could, play that role. Gone are the days in 1994 when an American Express was set up, which was only basic cost center that we were talking about. A cost differential, which was that yes, in America, in US you could do some work in $100, and India you could done in a lesser amount. But that's where you were talking about only a basic cost variance over here. When you moved on and started using some of these combination of the analysis which is there, the data analytics we're talking about, the combination of AI, ML, you are talking about the basic analytical skills you started with. At that point of time, we did not have Gen AI. We were saying we need some structured data, and then based on that, we will be able to analyze some of your, like a cash forecasting, a prediction which is there. But this was still not in terms of which where we're talking about a more advanced analytics we wanted to. Let me step back and give you an example here. I was in Accenture and we were trying to do a kind of a sensitivity analysis. I'm talking about back in 2008, 9 for a client which was well-known innovation client. And when we did a sensitivity analysis, this is very important to understand. You were using in terms of scrollers, like all of you guys would be using today social media. You all are going and giving your views, you're going and sharing your feedback. Customers also go back and share your feedback around this. What we did, we looked at this particular product. I don't want to name the company because I'm under the confidential agreement, so I don't want to name the company, but this was supposed to be one of the top companies in the globe. And we found out that the company's product, wallet, wasn't being able to used in US because the customer felt that when they were trying to use American Express card, it wasn't working. The other thing what you saw that the customers wrote in the social media was about that the products at times which are being sold to us, okay, are not of a good quality that we are looking at. Other cases we saw that you're trying to sell a toy gun, but the moment you type gun, it was getting, oh, this is some article which you cannot sell. So once we looked at all these analysis, we found that there is a way we could improve the sales of this particular company, and believe me, we increased the sales by 10 to 15%. And when I was presenting it to the CFO of this particular company, and they said that, do you know, Rama, we are number one innovation company in the world. I said, yes, I know, but do you know, we wanted to share with you that we also have a capability, and see, we have analyzed your. So look at the power of the data, the power when you say that I want to refer back to the cost, I want to reduce the cost, I want to improve the sales. These are the kind of business outcomes that today are very important for us. I'm sure all of you guys would be also buying a lot of your, stuff online through Amazon. I also buy. A lot of time when you're trying and buying, it, tells you a customer similar to you has also bought a similar product for you. Will you like to buy? Now, what's happening here? They are using more advanced skills of AI ML there to say what is that, I am liking it. What are my likes and dislikes? And can I be sold more than this? And this is where these new technologies are coming into use. In fact, on the same social media example, I was able to get my phone, Samsung phone, changed. Okay, again, I'm talking about 2010, around that time, because I realized that there was some fault in the phone, and Samsung, being a great company, they accepted it. Because when I use these analysis or the data to say, prove to them that yes, there is an issue with the phone. Okay, I'll give another example that go back to 1900 or before 2000. When you wanted to buy a car, the color of the car was only black or white. You had no choice. If when I go back and look at 1970s, early 70s or 80s, Maruti came in. You had some choice in India, but still, there was used to be Ambassador and Fiat. And Fiat, I mean, you guys are all kids. You can go back and check with your parents. But Fiat was like that. If it stops on the road, somebody will have to come and push it, make a way on the road. So that's what kind of it. Today, I wanted to buy a car when I came back from London last year. And I had so many choices. I could go for an automatic, I can go to make sure that the mileage is there, I can make sure that it's fuel efficient. So a lot of options were there for me. I wanted the color I wanted to add. So what's happening here? All these analytics which is being used to make sure that I am getting what as a customer I'm asking for. So slowly, you are moving from the reporting and analysis today to up the value chain where the business outcomes are being focused. And what are a business outcome? The business outcomes for us are, how do I increase the revenue? How do I make sure that my, the net promoter score or the customer score, what I'm getting is the highest in line with the competition? How can I make sure my customer is very happy and satisfied with that? Can I increase channels? Can I increase the segments where I can go ahead? Can I increase my sales? Those are the business outcomes we are talking about, and that's where we're saying That's a strategic business partnership. And this is where we're talking about more forward looking. So, how is that I can become a more forward looking? These digital technologies today which are available, they can help me in doing that. But it's very good to implement this. It is very important for me that I should be very careful and make sure that I'm implementing this for better decisions making, more effective allocation of my capital, because that's very important. Capital is always scarce. And then also to ensure that we as a cost accountant are very very careful and very important focusing on the performance metrics, and how is that as a shareholder value creation that we are there. And then is important is the culture and the decision making that we are making to make sure that we are creating a shareholder value. Okay, moving on to that's the latest RPA and AI news which I have, where you see that according to the jail India, we have more than 1,800 global capability centers, and we're serving more than 1,400 unique global corporations. India, as I shared with you, is going to be having an estimated total growth size of 105 billion, and we are looking at moving from cloud based RPAs to robot as a service, which is offering us a good important way that we could look at subscription based model. Another major development is the increased use of AI driven RPA. These days, you all, I'm sure everybody would have used ChatGPT. So we're talking about what's that? That's Gen AI that we're talking about. And we talk more about how is that we could use that. We could use low code platforms. Even if you look at our own government, is look at focusing on citizen developers, looking at how is that IT could leverage that. Today we have ease of business, where we were looking at months to open a company. We can open the company in minutes. I opened my company in 5 minutes, so it was so fast. And how is that all of these things are possible for us to do this. Okay, so what are the future trends that we are looking in RPA and AI? So let me start with saying that robotics as a service is one of the trends that we focus on. Hyper automation, we are looking at as a combination of machine learning, AI, RPA. Let me give an example here. In my previous company in Syngenta, I could use a combination of AI, ML, and ClickSense to see what product can I price, can I launch my product in Australia. And I could do that. I could look at what my competition was, competition price was, and I launched that product at 10% higher, and I realized I could still capture the market. Okay, all of these, when you are trying to do it manually and that you're trying to do in global environment, it is so difficult. So how some of these things can help? Some of these things can also help me in terms of saying I want to look at in terms of my the capital allocation, which is very important for us. All these combinations could help us in terms of I want to look at good received automation processes. Again, I can use this as a combination of AI and ML to see how is that my entire goods receipt can be automated, to ensure that once I'm making a payment through the SAP, I know that whether I have received the goods or not. Otherwise, my payment cannot go through. Okay, these are some of the examples where you could see we could use that. And as a CFO, on the CFO area, you could also look at in terms of budgeting and forecasting. Okay, that's another area which is very important. What do you do that? You look at your first, you could forecast it. You can do your cash forecast, you could do your production forecast, you could do a sales forecast, you can also do your capital allocation. And once you have the forecast, you could use a combination of AI, ML, and all these, I would say the tools which are available in the market to look at ClickSense, ClickView, Tableau, to see what is the variance between my actual and budget. What is the reason for the variance? I can even drill down on each of the variances. And as you process those variances, you can train ML, okay, to learn those variances. And next time when you talk about, oh, the variances because your X product did not sell in this particular market as you had budgeted, the reason being the faulty product or cost of poor quality, it can give you all those examples there. That's where we're saying we're going to use the combination there. And what you could also look at it in terms of when you're talking about your cost center analysis, you want to do it. Again, a combination could help you over there. When you're looking at AI and cognitive automation, you could look at it as a combination. So let me give an example. Today we are talking about Gen AI. What is Gen AI doing? As I was earlier sharing with you, before Gen AI came in, we were all talking about we need a structured data and we need at least a minimum month, years data before we could analyze it. Today, the Gen AI could read all your documents, the PDF documents. It can provide a summary for you. It can analyze the full balance sheet. It can analyze the entire costing statement for you. Okay. And then you could use a combination of AI and your Gen AI to see how can I answer some of these questions for me, which are there. I can also use in terms of, reviewing the balance sheet or looking at, in terms of saying whether it is important for me to make an investment, whether, this company even qualifies for the mergers and acquisition or not. That's very important. Now, what is happening here? We are trying to bring my company and, for India, because we are the GCC capital, India is the GCC capital of the world. What we are trying to do is we are trying to kind of open and bring more companies to India who have their innovation labs. So if you go back and refer to the NASCOM reports, you would see that. And what are these companies going to do? They're using India to do research and development. They're using the emerging technologies like, we are talking about RPA, ML, AI, talking about, the IoT, all those, intelligent emerging technologies they're using. They can use India to create digital twin, the proof of concept or minimal viable project. Some of the cases that we are also providing them a collaboration with the academia or the startups to make sure that in case there are already these products available, they don't need to create that. Okay. And what we are also providing them is the talent. Okay. And the creative environment. So that's where the RPA lab, the data analytics lab is something which is what they are actually looking at setting up in India. And that's what you see the future trend. The future trend is going to be an innovation lab, which all the global companies are going to come to India and set up over here. So look at how much opportunities you guys have. It is all for you. That's the reason I'm explaining this. Okay. Going on, in a very simple term, what is an RPA? It is used to automate the repetitive tasks, the rule-based tasks. If I have to talk about in a very, very simple terms, it is mimicking human interactions with the digital systems. Okay. And you can leverage AI, ML, and data for your decision making and your problem solving. I have few more examples which are going to give you more idea around it. It's very simple. And you could use that. I'll tell you that, when I was doing the mergers and acquisition, and I was based out of Germany, and I was doing that for Bayer Monsanto. Another client on the other side was BSF, and the another client was Elanco. And we were doing it for 65 plus countries. And you know that each country will have their own language, the invoices which are coming, the bills which are coming. And I was also responsible to do the cost settlement over there. And that has to be done to ensure that. And then how do I cater to these languages? So important was it. I created a language bot. Instead of saying that, if I would pay for somebody in Germany, if I keep accountants in there in Germany, I'm going to pay a huge cost. Now I'm a CFO, I'm a cost person. I don't want to pay a huge cost. So what do? I want to get this work done out of India. How do we do this? Through my thesis technology team, I created this language bots. We tried that for Germany. Then we found it was working. We did it for all the international languages. Look at that. Awesome. It really helped us to make sure the entire our business case of working from India and doing the mergers and acquisition was all positive. And we worked for these companies 3 years as a build, operate, transfer model through India and all those 65 countries, but nobody complained about it. So what's happening is that these RPAs or digital technologies could help us for cost saving, for improving efficiency, and freeing employees for strategic work. The repetitive tasks can be given to the bot, and you can focus on the strategic works. Automating tasks like data entry, transaction processing, reporting, customer service, All of those can be given it to the bot to do that. Now, how's the RPA evolution over the years? I was talking about the basic automation. Today, we are talking about robots as a service that we're talking about. So, you're using a combination of hyper automation. You are using a combination AI, ML, and also in terms of looking at data analytics, IoT. So, a lot of these telecom companies today, if you look at Geo, you look at Cisco, what are these people using it? They're using the entire hyper automation, the intelligent automation kind of it, which is a combination of AI, ML, and your IoT. And a lot of times that if you see, when I was growing up or when I joined, I didn't have phone. Today, all of us, have a mobile phone, and we are using so much to do through the mobile phone. We do not see the drop happening, so much a drop. It used to be like when I was in like what, 96, 97, we used to have only no phones, and the phones which are good, they were very, very, heavy phones. But today, how's that all changing? The changing is because of the digitalization, the technology which is bringing it. Am I fine with this, or with the space, pace and all? Is there anything you want me to, in the interest of time, want to cover? Because we have 24 minutes left. Do you want me to focus more on the examples? Rakesh, do you want me to focus on the examples now, or because I want to leave
Yes,
some time for the team to ask questions?
maybe you like we have got the questions. You want me to pose the questions in the stage now?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I would quickly cover some of these examples which give them more.
please.
Yeah, these are
Yes.
the RPA providers. I can share that with the students. And as I mentioned, very important for you it is to focus on business outcomes. And the outcomes you should measure is lowering the cost. Okay, and you need to have a KPI for this. The revenue increase. Again, very important thing is to look at risk and compliance. The return on investment, we are all accountants. It's very important for us to see, is my RPA giving me monetary benefits? It may give you over the period of time, but is higher ROI indicates a better return. So we need to make sure that whatever we are implementing these RPAs, we are measuring those returns. Okay. These are some of these examples of things we could do through the working capital, automating the invoice processing, the cash flow forecasting, the credit control and collection process, your inventory management, even a supply management and early payment process could be done. That a lot of important things, because we are all accountants, the data accuracy and the compliance and audit trail, that's very, very important for us. Okay, I have some case studies of the companies which have implemented, and IFT Health and Fitness, it's an order processing automation. They did that, and the outcome was they had a reduction in order processing time by 60%. Why I'm sharing some of these things here, because it's going to be good for you to understand and see how much of a benefit you could get that. A supply chain automation for Woodward, they were able to kind of have more accurate demand forecasting. And what happens when you have accurate demand forecasting? You are not blocking your working capital. And we as an accountant, working capital is very important for us. Muji automated the pricing and competitive intelligence, which helped them to, in terms of automated competitive price data collection and that dynamic pricing. That's another thing which you see these days. Coca-Cola, all of the name you will all have known about it. They are the ones who did that cash flow management through AP processes. Again, their percent of invoices with errors reduced to 1% as compared to 5% which was there. And the cash flow reduced from 45 days to 30 days. Toshiba, automated the credit management collections process with reduced collection time. From 45 days, the average, DSO reached to 30 days, and the collection efficiency increased by 20%. Unilever, we all heard about it and using their product. They automated the cash application process, and from 3 to 5 days, the cash application was reduced to 1 to 2 days. Deloitte, they automated the financial management, reporting, and process. See why I'm giving you again these examples, because that will give you some ideas about things which you can do. But let me tell you, we guys never had all of these, opportunities. You guys have. all these opportunities. You guys are smart enough, and these are some just giving you teasers. You guys can done much more than this. Okay, this is on some of the digitalization for statutory reporting and compliance, data collection, preparation, calculation, documentation, the continuous improvement on the RPA analysis variances, which I shared with you earlier. The error handling is another stuff which is very important for us to ensure that how are we looking at those errors, the alerts, the notifications. Again, some of these companies which have used these in areas is HSBC, Aviva, Emphasis, and again, gift for accountants on the compliance and audit. What is that? RPA could help us out. All my repeated tasks, downloading my reports, ensuring, our time is always very limited to prep time for these bots. The RPA can minimize the risk by automating some of these controls. Okay, they can, so the human errors also get through. The time gets reduced to read all these reports. Today, within fraction, we could look at a summary of the reports, the balance sheet, what we wanted to analyze it. This is an example on the HR, which can talk about that entire human resources process, where we're saying tomorrow when you join any organization, from employee onboarding, the payroll processing, the time and attendance tracking, the performance management, the recruitment, all the entire process, the hire to retire, what we say, is being automated using digitalization. HR is a process where, majorly Gen AI and AI and ML combinations are being used. Okay. Today, during the interviews, also you talk about AI analyze it, and you see based on the screening which is there, this is the right candidate that you should look at it. Mercer, which is again an HR consulting company, has used RPA to automate employee benefits administration, including data entry, document validation, and payroll updates. Last, this is in terms of Sephora, how did this French multinational retailer is using a combination to understand the machine learning to understand the customer data. They're predicting based on the products of interest to them. They have algorithms which are like a skin type, beauty preferences, trending products they're using. Then using email marketing campaigns. Again, all of these are being used as of a combination of or digital technologies. And by leveraging this, they're actually able to recommend an exact product to their customers, and they've been able to position themselves as a leader in the beauty retail industry. I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to go back and ask you any questions that you have, or anything specific you want me to cover.
There is a question which is posted to your screen.
Yeah, sure. Yes, it can be. You can use that for the you could use that for corporate functions as well. And today, this is basically GCCs are where these are the, I would say the part of the organizations which are set up in India. Okay. And the global companies is sitting outside. So those are the companies where we are doing a kind of a, back office support. So they are an extension of the corporations which are sitting outside India. No, you will need to collaborate with your technology team. Okay. But I will tell you what I did when I go back to, 1996. The first time when I was trying to automate the, advertising and promotion budgeting process, and that process failed at the UAT stage. Okay. I realized, I want to understand what happened. Why did it fail? And I realized it failed because the what I wanted as a user, my output of this process did not get channelized, okay, or converted to the technology team was actually developing it. So I went back and did my method one training to understand how is that, both your IT and business could work together. And that was the last day till today. I made sure none of my projects face. So it's going to be important that how do you collab with your tech professionals? You're all buddies. Madam, will there be a difference in financial and cost reporting framework in AI-driven platforms, especially potentially profit and loss reporting to management? See, there'll be no difference in the framework. You will build in some more controls to ensure what is required in line with your governance, okay, in line with the government requirements. But what's going to happen is that your process to prepare is going to shorten. It's going to much more, shorter, much more for you to look at each and every aspects very carefully because of the data that you will have. See, we have to use AI and Gen AI in a very, very responsible way. That's what I will say that. So yes, you guys are here in the midst of the right talent. So it's important for you to learn these, latest technologies. And in case any of you are interested to join in the GCCs, you can certainly reach out to me, and you can also read those NASCOM reports, which will tell you. And in Chennai, also there are a lot of big, global capability centers are being set up. So you can definitely take advantage there to join them.
Yes, ma'am. So with this, the Q&A, whatever we have received, we have answered, ma'am. So I think you can take it up to the next level or.
Okay, so I'm just going to kind of, share a few examples by industries, and then also in terms of, do a summary of what we share today. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. I'm just sharing your screen.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, it's we spoke about all lot of generic in terms of what we could do is from a process perspective. As we all are going to be joining the organizations, okay, it's important for us to understand what are the industries we want to join and how is that some of these things could be used. Okay, the RPA AI combination, as I mentioned also to you, that it is very important for us to be using responsible AI. And responsible AI means that we need to understand. It's very easy to say that, okay, today AI can do this, AI can do that. But responsible AI is that isn't in line with the ethics. And we need to very clearly look into the ethics part of it as well. Because that's going to be where you're going to be able to use this. So, like I said, in banking finance today, as I mentioned, when I was growing up or I had to go to the bank, there used to be huge queue, okay, in the bank. And you used to look for that. Oh, do we need to know the manager of the bank? How do I go there? I want to open an account. I want to operate. How do I do that? Okay, the entire process used to take ages. Okay, and I still remember that I would go to State Bank of India or I go to Punjab National Bank. There used to be long queues which are there. Okay, and so today I can open my account sitting at home. Okay, so how things are changing. When I was in, going to London, HSBC could open my account in UK. My sitting here in India. What's happening? How are things changing? Because the entire banking system is using all these latest technologies, the digital technologies, which is helping us in automating the process of gathering customer information, verifying the documents, and setting up the accounts. Even if you go and look at your ICCI bank, you look at all your our Indian banks, even those are their customer onboarding is pretty fast. In fact, I remember that when I was working with TCS, somebody asked us the question that what is that TCS does it for India. So banking system, and the answer was all the top Indian banks are being supported by the TCS network. So that's there. And what's happening here? These are all digital technologies we are talking about. Okay. Today, even if I have to do my KYC, my AML, it's all automated. Okay. I was also kind of, today reading in the morning where you're talking about their, as per the, before the new budget, SEBI and, our finance is also making changes to the entire process of automating the KYC. The double authentication is also getting, looked at it, because at times if I'm not able to use my Aadhaar or my PAN card, how is that I can get those KYC there? So companies like HSBC and some of these, they have actually automated the entire KYC process. The fraud detection, okay, today if you look at, also banks are also kind of coming out with the fraud detection bots. They are today, a lot of times we get the spam mails, I would say spam calls, okay, and these are all and now you see that those spam calls which are coming in, that it gets as suspected scam. What's happening? There's a fraud detection which is happening, and for these are for the phones we're talking about, but for banks it's very, very important. Our money is there. So I did for one of the with league societies in UK. We built a proactive fraud detection process for them. So real-time transaction monitoring was happening, and we flagging any suspicious activities for investigation, which was very, very helpful for the customer. And again, as I mentioned, the customer onboarding is getting automated using even the loan, processing. When we used a combination of AI ML, it was taking 15 days for this particular customer. We reduced to 5 minutes, where they could open, the loan processing could be done, the account could be open in 5 minutes. Now, the healthcare industry, the insurance verification, that's very important for us. You all, and we can automate insurance eligibility verification process, the patient registration process, the data entry in the EMRs. These are something, the electronic medical records. All of these can be, automated using the RPA process. You don't have it on the screen, but look at the property business today. We could look at in terms of automating your property documentations which are there, okay, where you want to look at that. You also want to see that which are the companies which are offering what kind of what kind of a product is being offered by the different real estates. So all of these things can also be automated using this combination of the digitalization. Now look at manufacturing. The inventory management is very important. We as a cost accountant have to always focus on, look at my stock replenishment, my what should be my order quantity, which should be there, okay, and what time should I order? Am I ordering the right quantity? Am I blocking my funds in the inventory? When you look at your working capital, most of the companies, there's a lot of block which happens in the WI, you know, which is the work in inventory, work in progress inventory, and which is very important for us to see how is that we could create a check there using these digital technologies. The procurement process of generating orders, requesting vendors, tracking deliveries can be automated. If I go and look at the retail companies, okay, where the entire order processing process could be automated. I also gave you an example which is there today. If you look at Target, you look at these companies came to India, and they have set up their the RPA. They have set up their innovation labs. What are they using it? They're using it to see how is that the entire order fulfillment process, how is that I could do a predictive modeling over there. The entire process could be automated using these digital technologies, and it is so much good for us. They're here in India. Their innovation labs are there in India. Again, on the telecommunication, looking at your churn prediction, your billing and payments, how much your again customer onboarding, the double ticket management, so that automating the routine tests, escalating the complex to the agents. All of these things could be automated using these digital technologies. Legal, the contract management, the litigation support, the compliance monitoring, all of these can be automated using the digital technologies. Okay, so let me summarize that. The key takeaways which I would like you to focus on is four from this session. One is keep measuring RPA AI performance over time to ensure you have a continued business outcomes. We as an accountant must for us. The tools and techniques for monitoring RPA AI effectiveness, the dashboards, the reporting tools, the metrics, very important for us to have those. The business outcomes, we spoke about efficiency, increasing the revenue of the client. Customer satisfaction are very crucial as is technology adoption happening. Then what I would like you to do is identify the specific business processes, okay, which you feel that could benefit for the RP implementation, and do share that with me. It will be more than happy to see how that I could help you with that. Okay, so this is what I wanted to have key takeaways from our session today. And once again, namaste.
Namaste. There is a question, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, there are structured courses available, and I can definitely share, with Ramesh and Vishwanath sir about, where are those available. So you could do along with your education. They're not very see, because you're looking at the usage of this. So you don't need to worry about it whether I'll be able to do the coding. I don't do the coding. I'm more, I can do and build and say that, okay, this is how these digital technologies can create an output for me. And that's very important. And yes, you could do that. I already shared those options, but yes, some of these I can, also share the things which are available. Yeah, working capital is very important for, the cost accountants. Looking at, in terms of your factory, your capital allocation. These are the areas, and the list is unlimited. No, there are no special skills required, but you could do special courses of knowing the AIML. And I suppose the college would also have some of these, but I can certainly give it to you the courses which are available online, and you could use some of these to learn more about how AI and ML can be used. Yes, even the RPA process, the agriculture industry can help you in terms of, forecasting. Like I was talking about the example I give it to you, what price you can launch your product. Okay, looking at your channel optimization, looking at in terms of also your predictive modeling to say based on the weather conditions, what kind of a productivity can be available, and then how do I offer there. Is it that like the company I worked with, they had some issues in Vietnam. Okay, the production is going to be down. If my one country is not giving me a production, how is that I will be able to still meet my demand? So all of these can be used. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. You patiently answered all the questions. Sir, any inputs from TCS, sir? Sir, you're muted.
Good afternoon. This is CMA TCS Srinivasa Prasad. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You're
Ma'am,
audible.
this is CMA TCS Srinivasa Prasad, Vice President of the Institute, who spoke to you. Thank you for accepting the invite and then addressing our members. There are 2-3 additional inputs which I thought I will give it to the members. One is we have got an AI committee itself in the council, and Mr. Neeraj Joshi is the chairman of the committee, and including me, members are there. We are looking at how to develop our members on the AI arena, and then we are coming out with special courses. In fact, we had already conducted offline courses at some of the locations, which we will be doing in South also very soon. This committee is drawn with a lot of experts from outside our fraternity also, so that we are able to learn and then implement and then take our members along to the growth path on the AI and ML. In fact, technology, without technology, we need not be technology experts, but I think as CMAs, we should know what are all the technologies available and how we have to use them to our benefit and to the benefit of our clients and the nation. That is what the institute is doing right now. And other things, you can look at the institute website about the workshops that are being conducted. And then we intend to continue this, though I am the chairman of the IT committee incidentally, and Mr. Neeraj Joshi being the AI committee chairman. Both of us work in tandem, and then we are taking a lot of initiatives in this new area. Number one. Number two, madam, you can send us the input, Mr. Rakesh. My mail ID is vicepresident@icma.in. So it's a simple mail ID. You can send your inputs for the courses and all, and then we'll be in touch with you. The third point, we have talked about AI, Gen AI and all. In between, I was on another meeting, so I could not be attentive totally. But then, if we can throw a small light on predictive AI, which is also gaining a lot of momentum, and how predictive AI can be useful for we, the professionals, CMA. So with this, I am coming out of the mic. I will be listening more. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think Mr. Vishwanath Bhat also must have come in. Thanks for accepting the invite, madam, at a short notice for now. And then we would like to be with you and take your help and your knowledge sharing as we go along from the institute. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Jai Hind.
Jai. I can knock off.
Ma'am, just 2 minutes. Like our SARC chairman, CMA Vishwanath Bhat, is in official travel. Like he visited a public sector for a meeting. So he has conveyed his best wishes for the program. If time permits, he will be joining us tomorrow. So with this, I hand over the session to Srinivasa Madhavan for concluding.
Thank you, sir. And really, it was a very informative session, ma'am. We were much enlightened by all the real life examples and all the case studies, the problems, outcomes, what you were trying to explain. Thank you, ma'am. Moving on, I invite the gracious Dr. Gayatri Harikumar, ma'am, the Vice President of UG Association, to present the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all present here. I consider it an honor and privilege to have the chance to offer a vote of thanks for this knowledge-enriching CEP on recent trends in commerce and business, AI and digitalization, machine learning, and technology-enabled business, organized by the PG and Research Program of Commerce under the aegis of Guru Nanak Center for Consultancy and Outreach Initiatives in collaboration with the Institute of Cost Accountants of India on this day of CEP Day 4. On behalf of the PG and Research Program of Commerce, Madam, I extend my heartfelt thanks to you, CMA Ramma Shivkumar, for an exemplary session on automation, AI, and machine learning in business. We appreciate your insightful presentation, which brought to light how automation, AI, and machine learning are transforming businesses across industries. We also appreciate your noble gesture of setting aside your Mumbai travel trip and coming here and joining us live for this CEP. Thanks a lot, madam. We truly appreciate you. We also applaud your real life examples from the internet on how Amazon recommends a bundle of products that can be purchased together by using AI technique and reminding us about the purchase patterns. We also cherish your real life AI app recommendations and the latest news that were shared on AI. We also take note of all the case studies that you had shared, the problems and solutions that were discussed, and the outcomes that were also discussed here. So thank you, ma'am, for guiding us through these exciting advancements and sparking a conversation that will have a lasting impact, madam. Your session brought an energy, setting a vibrant and captivating tone on this day 4 of the CEP. Thanks a lot, madam. We also sincerely thank CMA keynote speaker Vishwanath Bhat sir, who was not able to join today due to some administrative reasons. We also thank sir, Chairman SARC, in absentia. I take this opportunity to express my gratitude to the chief patrons of the CEP, our General Secretary and Correspondent, Mr. Manjeet Singh Nair, and also CMA Vibhuti Bhushan Naik, President ICMAI. I share my extra special thanks to CMA TCA Srinivas Prasad Sir, Vice President ICMAI, for joining the session live amidst his busy schedule and giving a new topic, that is predictive AI, which we can further take it up in our upcoming CEP program, sir. I also express my sincere thanks to our principal and head, Dr. T.K. Avaikode Madam, and head GNCCOI, Dr. Swati Paliwal, for their unflinching and strong support in all our endeavors. A heartfelt thanks to the convener, Dr. Tamil Selvi, head in charge of the department, and advisor of the program, CMA Rakesh Shankar Ravi Shankar, for their vitalizing support and stimulation. I would also place my thanks to all the organizing committee members of our department, the Commerce Department Association student office bearers, and my co-convener, Dr. P.S. Sridharan sir, for their unwavering support and synergy in all the academic activities of the department. I would like to thank all the CMA pursuing students, CMA members, industrial experts, academia fraternity, our Guru Nanak College students, and all the viewers for watching this session online today. Last but not the least, I humbly bow my head to the Almighty for granting us a productive and engaging session on this day 4, which proceeded as planned and yielded positive takeaways and crucial learnings for all the stakeholders involved. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Jai Hind.
all. Thank you all. So stay tuned with us for day 5 tomorrow. We have an expert person from Bengaluru to talk on data visualization. So we will meet tomorrow at 12 noon again. Thank you.